Bueno, buenas tardes. Volvemos con la segunda jornada técnica y esta vez, como comentábamos antes, trataremos el proyecto europeo Horizon 2020 de Basajaun, proyecto liderado por Tecnalia con muchos socios que luego ya explicarán y podréis conocer. Sí que animamos, sabemos que la hora no es la más adecuada, pero queríamos animar a que todo el mundo se acercase para poder seguir el proyecto y la jornada técnica. También estamos emitiendo en directo y bueno, por eso también queríamos cumplir con el horario. Hi everyone, welcome to the Basque Country. It's a pleasure that we've been having a lot of meetings everywhere in Europe. It's a pleasure to be all of you here, and I expect that the next 2 days you will enjoy the Basque Country and the things that we are celebrating here in Egurrezko. Now, for the presentation, you will do it here. Javier García Jaca from Tecnalia. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming here today. The thing is, if you allow me, I will change a little bit between Spanish and English, so everybody can get more comfortable. Os estaba agradeciendo la visita. De entrada quería anunciaros un pequeño cambio. Vamos a adelantar un poco la presentación que nos iban a hacer parte de los socios de Basajaun, porque bueno, digamos que tenemos hay un vuelo que está esperando aparte del equipo y entonces pues necesitamos ese pequeño ajuste. Por lo tanto, lo mío van a ser solo 2 minutos de presentación de lo que es el proyecto en sí. Bueno, esto era el cambio que íbamos a hacer, adelantar un poco la segunda parte. Esto es un proyecto europeo. Es un proyecto, yo diría, se abusa mucho de la palabra estratégico, pero yo sí que creo que lo es, en el que hemos sido capaces de juntarnos 29 socios de toda Europa, de norte, de sur, de este y del oeste, para desarrollar soluciones y proyectos en madera y demostrarlos. Ya no es el paso habitual de que en los centros tecnológicos nos quedamos los resultados en el lab, sino que además vamos a construir un edificio de modo virtual, otro edificio de forma real, ¿de acuerdo? Entonces, ahora Tom lo que nos va a presentar va a ser en detalles constructivos y arquitectónicos de los dos proyectos, de los dos edificios que hemos preparado, ¿de acuerdo? So now, please, Tom, come on and show us those marvelous buildings that you have designed.
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, hello. So first of all, thank you, Javier, for inviting me. We've been on the Basajaun project now for 2 years, working closely with almost 20 partners from throughout Europe. We are here for a project meeting in Bilbao in the Basque Country. Maybe it's still a bit early here in Spain, but we also have to leave early on a plane, so that's why we start immediately. I will give the presentation, but I'm also leaving the presentation behind should there be further questions. I think Javier is very well informed about the project, so any question you can also ask to him. And there will also be a nice video presentation. So I think the goal is to have an interactive session, to have a discussion. We'll kick it off, but leave the projects behind in good hands, and that's the goal of this afternoon. So my name is Tom Minderhout. I'm a senior architect at UN Studio. UN Studio is an architecture firm in the Netherlands. Let's see, yeah. We work from Amsterdam and we work globally on a range of projects. So our main work is obviously architecture, urbanism, interior design, products, and then a lot of other services. but we've also been heavily involved in research. Let's see this thing. And we always say that design is knowledge driven. So for us to come up with a form or a color, it's not enough. It's like, where do you base it on? How do you inform yourself? And how do you bring a lot of intelligence in the things you actually start to create? There's a big emphasis, of course, on sustainability. I think this has been in the discourse for so long now that it's very well established. Within sustainability, there are a lot of subtopics such as circularity, health, quite a few things, and recently the topic of wood is very popular and being researched a lot, and also being introduced in buildings. Let's see. So circularity we touched upon. Here are some projects from UN Studio, a project in wood in Amsterdam. Also projects that have a lot of intelligence in them in the sense of sensors and computer-driven mechanism that organize data and organize your life. And eventually also energy positive buildings. So this is an educational building we did in the Netherlands, in Delft, partially in wood and also net positive in the energy production. And again, the smartest neighborhood in Europe. So a range of projects. And today we would like to talk about Basajaun. It's a European funded research project with partners throughout Europe, from Spain, France, Finland, a number of other countries. And the goal was to look at the supply cycle of wood, because of the obvious benefits of wood. It's readily available in Europe, it embodies carbon. And we wanted to use the kind of the supply chain of wood to include it into the building industry practice. And for that, yeah, the project is set up in a number of work packages, looking at these topics. And here you see a range of the companies involved. We, as UN Studio, are responsible for the architecture. But it's not architecture in the classical sense. It's architecture as a systems integrator, working with different experts. So those are fabricators, those are research institutes, those are yeah, a whole range of companies. And each of them brings the knowledge to the project, first in digital form, then it's produced throughout Europe again, all the way up to Hungary. It's tested, and that's how we work together, up to now quite successfully. There's something strange with this thing, so I'm going back and forward a bit. But so here again, the range of partners. Sorry, I was wrong. Not 30, but 29. And really looking at, we start with the raw material in the forest, so tree trunks, and then see how we can really kind of upgrade it to a product and then assemble it in the architecture. First looking at how we can optimize the resources, then from forest products into sub-products, then in systems. So a system in architecture is, for example, a window with a window frame, or a partition, or a roof panel. All modularized and described in our computer model, and then put together to experimental pilot building. And the last step, and I think that's at the end of the process, is also the fact you put everything together, but how can you take it apart in a smart way so you have the least possible amount of waste. So this goes back to cradle to cradle principles and how you can reuse materials in a smart way. So for the pilot buildings, I think those are nice to see. We have two pilot buildings. So for the EU, it's very important that the topic is applicable over the wider European market. So we have one pilot building all the way up in the high north in Finland, and one in the south of France, in the Gironde. And both of these buildings are dealing with very different culture of building, different climate, and in a way these represent the different situations you might find in the European Union. So this is Jyväskylä. Yeah, it's a beautiful site along a lake in the middle of Finland, and you see the extensive forest there. So this is definitely a theme. Here you see the project site. It's on the location of our partner VTT, and the idea is that they have an office there, and the demo building we're making is intended to be a place where they can invite people, have meetings, possibly talk about this topic, but just a very kind of friendly and open meeting place with a nice view over the lake. We were inspired by the natural features, so the woods arriving there, and we tried to integrate it into the site. And what you can see to the top is the road coming in, and in the red location that's our plot. And it's the first moment you see the site, you see the building, and that's where your kind of experience starts. And there's been a whole process of different back and forth, testing things, looking at the geometry. But the key thing is that we connect to the other buildings, and the meeting space in the building has a very nice large window overlooking the lake. So here you see an early iteration. So we worked closely both with the partners and with VTT to see what the functionality of the building should be. And at a very early phase, there were different manufacturers who looked at the glazing, the roof, the partitioning, and the facade. And here what you see, this is the first design model, so it's just a sketch basically. But from the sketch, as you can see, we started to add more detail. Here you see all the interior partitioning in plywood. And here you see some of the drawings that are generated in our building information model in a software called Revit. And that's where you can organize all these different building elements and kind of track them back into the supply chain. And that's quite a conventional procedure in the building industry, but it's our intent to go from the building back into the model and then eventually to the supply chain in the forest to really kind of create that link within Europe. How do you use your wood? Here you see submodels between the main model. So a very important part is, for example, the structure. So the structure is a glue lamp structure produced by our partner Mulven in Sweden. And they made the structural model, which is then, for example, coordinated with the facade model from a company called Inar from Madrid. And this was done, of course, through meetings, but also in this digital environment. So we as a team throughout Europe could work together on this project. Coming to the other building, this is the southern demo building. It's a residential project. There were already big plans for a school. We were not the architect of this project, of the school itself, but the architect was so kind to let us take the residential part, so the teachers' housing for the Basajaun project. And together with the French architect, we worked on that project. This school is actually, from the inside, it's built out of concrete, and then on the outside it's clad with very nice wood. But for the Basajaun project, it was the goal to make the complete building in wood. So we're next. So this is the project site near Bordeaux. Again, the school, just to get a bit of a feel of the existing design. And in red, we are located next to the school. And of course, we try to kind of together with the French architect, follow the initial design ideas so we could fit in with the overall site. Let's see. Yeah, this one works. Here you see a number of design exercises we did. So apart from working with wood, we also try to apply sustainable strategies that we call passive measures. So we looked at the geometry of the roof to provide shading, so the building requires less cooling. And we did options on placing terraces and shaping these houses. And this is how the early sketch looked like. Yeah, also the interior fully in wood. I think quite an attractive offering if you're a teacher living in this beautiful environment. Everything is fully done under architecture. It was again coordinated in the Revit model. So you see here the 3 houses set up with all the modular elements that we are also providing for the finished project. So there's a system that you can use for both projects throughout Europe. And with that system you can make very different designs. So the one is an office building and this is a housing building. You see also looking at the submodels that there is a similar story to how how the intelligence is in the project, but with very different results. And then together with our partners, some of the systems, so for example the windows and the partitions and the roof were also made smarter. Here you see, based on the Finland demo, what kind of different elements you need. So you have the vision unit for the glass. It's glass with a biocomposite profile, so it's basically sawdust with a binding element that is protruded, and you create a glass panel out of it. You have a facade cladding, a roof and interior partitions. And going all the way down to the technical details, like how is this thing assembled, what are the different layers, just to give insight in what is possible with this nice product. So here you see how the window is built up. Normally you would expect either window frames in aluminium or massive wood, but here it's done in biocomposite, which is very innovative and actually quite difficult to produce still. But it's some of the more fundamental research that we are undertaking for the EU, and hopefully we can also bring this to the market later. All the testing needed, especially on new products. I think French regulations are very strict. There are very strict procedures also that you need to go through to get approval, so you're actually allowed to build. So we did testing on fire, noise, wind, all of this properly documented. Here you see some of the nice profiles. So it looks a little bit like wood, but it's really based on this kind of composite. How it's assembled in the factory. Here you see the roof panels. So that's roughly where we stand now. The partition walls, and what I just want to touch upon still is, yeah, now we come to the topic of can it be reused? Also a very interesting topic. Yeah, this has to do is like how do you put things together, and can you dismantle it later? So you can imagine if you put a lot of glue and everything, it's very difficult to take it apart and use the separate pieces in a practical way. But also in the detailing there's a degree of smartness to enable that. And then as we looked before, supply chains from forest into a product, into an architectural building, also we could then turn it around and then going from the building back to the window frame and to see what kind of future use it could have, to see if we can make this cradle to cradle in that sense. So also testing happening on that process. So a lot of different engineering, designing, testing, a lot of fun stuff with wood. So I hope I've given a nice overview also based on our demo buildings. And we'll finish with a movie just to give you a feel of what we're doing. So let me see if I can get this started. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions?
Yes, provided that our colleagues of Unstudio Past leave us now, if there are any questions in the audience, please do not hesitate to read now. No, decía que, dado que nos van a tener que dejar ahora los arquitectos de un estudio, si hay alguna pregunta desde la audiencia que quieran hacer, pues ahora es un momento bueno y casi único, si no tendremos que contestar los demás que también podemos hablar. ¿Questions? ¿Preguntas? ¿No?
Yeah, thank you for being here, and then we're off to the airport, but enjoy the afternoon. Thanks. Okay.
No te creas que me claro yo mucho con...
Ya, mira, esto lo cerramos
Sí,
porque este no es tuyo, ¿no? Es de este
no,
hombre.
correcto.
Y ahora, tuyo, ¿cuál que pongo?
La introducción. Volvemos a la introducción. Bueno, vamos a hacerlo un poquito al revés. Recordad, ahora vamos a contar los términos generales de cómo se ha producido el proyecto, que insisto, las claves es proyecto europeo con 29 socios, financiado con un total de unos 12 millones de euros, pero esto con lo que comenzamos tiene un contexto, no se hace porque sí, ¿no? Entonces ese contexto, the context where we work, why we are developing this project is exactly all those difficulties that we have in terms of climatic crisis and so on.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot, Javier, for the quick intro, and thanks to UN Studio, who presented already the demo building. This is actually, I want to give an overview of why all the projects on wood construction are becoming much more interesting and important today, yeah, also for the European Commission. So, as everybody knows, and we feel it also, I think, here today, the climate is changing dramatically fast, and we are really in the center of a climate crisis now. It's the largest global challenges of all times, and the Earth's systems approaching critical tipping elements. This is really acknowledged research now. So if you look at this map produced by the Potsdam Institute for Climate Research in Berlin, if we are reaching a 1.5 Celsius degree world, yeah, and probably we will overshoot, we will reach probably even a +2 degree Celsius world. And the impacts are already very visible and happening in the global south, on other continents, but it starts becoming serious also in Europe. So the +2 degree Celsius future lies ahead, but how do we adapt to that? And do we really do the necessary today? Looking at the political decisions that we are taking, the way our lifestyle is emerging, yeah, I think this is the main issue. Although we have an energy crisis, we had COVID, we are in an economic crisis still, it will become serious. So what is also acknowledged in that context more and more since many years is that the built environment is a main factor. So also a very recent, let's say, known study in Nature, where it was published, that humans on the Earth has produced more stuff, more mass than living biomass. Yeah, this is the graphic over on the top. We have produced more concrete, more aluminium, more plastics, more materials, which in total exceeds the volume of biomass of living organisms on the world. And the built environment and the building sector as a total accounts for more than 40% of carbon emissions globally. This includes the whole supply chain, the production of the materials, the waste it generates. When we tear down buildings, we create a lot of waste and mass. And the trend is not stopped. Yeah, it's rather accelerating. The population growth is continuing, and on many areas of the world, we are expecting huge megacities in the world. And if we just implement everything that is planned to be built in concrete, yeah, we are just accelerating climate change. What is also more recognized more and more now is that actually all kinds of building materials have a different, a different impact on the climate. The global warming potential. This is a quite known building material pyramid where the Center for Industrialized Architecture in Denmark has produced this online tool. You can go to that website and really compare different criteria, different materials. But in the overall picture is very clear. If you look at the bottom part, wood is the main climate neutral and also even climate negative material. Yeah. If the supply, and of course, life cycle assessments are very complex. Depends on the country, depends on the comparison. But wood engineered products can even be climate negative. So if you build in wood, you can even, in the whole balance, reduce the climate impact. And if you think of our sector, of the forest construction chain, you can actually think of it in a larger context that this can become really a carbon pump to decarbonize, if you want, take out carbon from the atmosphere. So if we have a sustainable forest management, we produce long-life wood products from it, and these are stored for a long time in the built environment, in buildings. And then we also prolong this lifetime through, let's say, circular economy uses and more ideas how to actually use the material in the right way. Then this can become a carbon pump. So cities can become carbon sinks on a larger scale if you would upscale, let's say, wood products. This requires, of course, what we also have demonstrated already in the presentation before. We need to link forests to buildings to products. We need a digitalization of the supply chain. We need to really manage that. It's not just that you use wood that immediately it's sustainable. Yeah, there's a big risk also, of course, that we overuse forest supply materials. And on the one side, we have to develop this supply chain in our sector, but we also have to reach out to all the other industries and actors in the built environment, architects, construction companies, the urban planners, the cities and regions as decision makers. How do we actually build the cities of the future, and so on. So this idea is becoming also very prominent on the European scale. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, raised a lot of attention when she started this new European Bauhaus movement. And one key phrase also was that she stated already in 2020 when she took over office, we know that the construction sector can even be turned from a carbon source into a sink if organic building materials like wood and smart technologies like AI are applied. And the reason why also the President of the Commission is picking up this narrative is that very eminent scientists, for example, Professor John Heschelnhuber, Director Emeritus of the Potsdam Institute, but also a lot of other climate scientists and so on, address this topic now and say we need a solution to decarbonize the built environment. And his main statement that you hear in many of his speeches now is we need to reforest the planet, retimber the cities, and then timber construction can become a silver bullet for climate change. So this is the political context and the narrative which is really coming in favor of wood today. And I think Basajaun came at the right time. We have now demo buildings that are being constructed, and we have all these solutions, so we want to show these results and disseminate this more. So Basajaun is a Horizon funded project, 4 years with total budget of 12 million euro, total grant is 10 million, 29 partners all over Europe and coordinated by Tecnalia here in Spain. And yeah, we are addressing this forest to building supply chain, from forests to products to the built environment, various aspects and yeah, important questions as circular economy, end of life, systems by design and digitalization. And the project is comprised in this 6, let's say, work packages where these different topics are addressed. I will go a bit fast here, yeah, because we want to go also to the discussion, but from forests to materials to building products and to innovative systems, which end up in these demo buildings. And also just a few pictures to highlight that there are various different innovations that have been developed together with the companies, tested and yeah, approved to be part of these demo buildings. This is again the system view, so that all these different components can be integrated, and which is actually quite challenging to bring in, to integrate innovative materials and products, because we have to adapt to the regulatory framework. The 2 demo buildings, we have seen that in the presentation from UN Studio. Yeah, again some views. And another step where we are actually currently working on in the project is that we want to make the link to the rural and regional development. So we have 5 pilot regions in Europe, 2 in Finland, 1 in Poland, New Aquitaine in France, where also the main demo building will be constructed, and also the Basque country. And within these regions we started to assess what actually does the wood construction chain look like, what are the stakeholders, what are the main actors, what are the research and development needs for the future. And we also are working on a, let's say, a series with stakeholders to get feedback and inputs from the yeah, people in the innovation ecosystem there. We will discuss this a little bit later also. We have put together a complete publication, a first one on this, Transformation Needs of Wood Construction Sectors in 5 European Regions. It was published by one of our members in the consortium, the Research Institute in Finland. Yeah, and this is so a first overview and spot where we are with the project, and we hope to discuss a little bit more later. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks. Now we continue with the third part. The third part is related. So, parte del trabajo que hemos realizado, como habéis visto, esta parte de las regiones la hemos considerado muy importante porque entendemos que la innovación debe nacer en las empresas, en los centros, pero hay un eslabón que es muy importante, así lo entendemos, que es el desarrollo regional. Es decir, cómo a nivel regional, porque al final los recursos también están a niveles regionales, cómo a nivel regional somos capaces de maximizar esos recursos y de llevar las innovaciones a buen puerto, a una escala real, que es lo que estamos haciendo en este proyecto. Las estamos llevando a una escala real y demostrándolo en dos edificios. Uno va a ir en modo virtual, que es el que nos contaba Uwe y antes Tom, que va a ir en el norte, y otro edificio que es real, que es el que vamos a encontrar en Le Pian-Médoc, que es un pueblo dentro de lo que es la región de la Gironda, en Francia. Y esto no es casual, sino que forma parte de una iniciativa pública más ambiciosa que se denomina Plan de Collège, y que hemos considerado y hemos identificado de una forma clara dentro del proyecto como una buena práctica de las instituciones públicas, digamos, de promoción pública, para fomentar este uso de la madera, que ya hemos visto que es importante. La presentación que vamos a tener ahora nos van a explicar exactamente cómo ha sido este proceso y en qué consiste este plan de college. So now, what we'll do is to have a presentation where part of our French colleagues from the department de Gironde will explain us how this plan de collège is working and which are the, let's say, which is practically a good practice, how to implement from the public side this good base construction. Okay, so.
Sin abrir. A ver.
Yes.
A ver.
Ah, we have to leave the. Hi everyone, thank you for inviting us. Thank you Javier and Uwe for the presentation, even if I'm a bit depressed of the climate crisis part at the beginning of the Uwe presentation, but we will talk about good practice of public requirement about the Plan Collège, which is a big plan to build a middle school in Gironde. So I will talk to you about the origin of this plan and why we are promoting wood in construction, even if the presentation that we had before explained a bit about the subject, and how we do to promote the wood in construction in Gironde. And then my colleague will present you an example of the middle school of Pierre-Médoc, the one where we will be built the pilot building of Basajaun. So Gironde has been gaining an average of 20,000 of inhabitants each year from around 2008, and so the demographic forecast predicts an increase of the student until 2025. So that's why the department, a public authority who built college, decided in 2017 to set up an important finance to create and do renovation of existing college. That's what we call the college, the Plan Collège 2024, because the objective was to build most of this college for 2024. So there are 14 new middle school and 10 existing middle school that we are renovating. So we built, firstly we built a map with the forecast, so we could see in red some city where there will be too much students, so we had to build or balancing pupils from one college to another to equilibrate to distribute as much as possible the demand. And after that, we have to create a new map with the yellow symbol with a small house on the maps on the right to create new college and respond to the demand. So this year there were 6 colleges who were completed on September when the pupils could start a new year on a fresh bâtiment. So let's go to the point. Why are we promoting wood in Gironde department? First, because of the policy framework. EU directive asks public authorities to reduce carbon emission. So we have to do this as a public authority that we are in department. And France decided to be precursor and implement a regulation from 2012 on specification to build bâtiment,
And another regulation which is in force from this year, January, which is called the RE 2020. It's the environmental regulation. And so the department want to contribute to the achievement of the national goals and participate to build biosourced and low carbon emission buildings. Because we think that public institutions should be a role model regarding innovation and can develop more use of wood in the construction sector. And and these projects are also helping to raise the awareness of citizens about sustainable building and living. So about the public procurement, we said that the Hauptler College is a good practice, a good example of public procurement, which should fostering the wood construction in France. So how do we do? The department in France use two main procedures: tendering procedure to select the companies and try to implement good practice. The first one, which is the most used in France, is what we call the MOP law. This is a law that established for public authorities the relationship between the contracting authority, which is us, the public authority, and the project manager, which is usually the architect. The architect carries out the design studies and write the specification. Then we are searching for multiple construction company. This is a good practice because it respects the public procurement by offering equal opportunity to each companies to access the market, because there is several different possibilities to contract with different enterprises. It's not just a big one which need to have a good finance, etc. But the second tendering procedure which is possible is it's called the global performance contract, which is like build, operate and maintain contract that we can find in other countries in Europe. This one is not really respecting the public procurement, but we use it to make sure that one contractor will be committed from the beginning to the end, committed to environmental objective. So it could be usually is ambitious objective. So to achieve these ambitious environmental buildings, what we do is we are doing a program that asks for exemplarity in environmental construction with certain specification. For example, the use of wood or other biosourced materials. We also demand the candidates to reach a level required by specification certification level on environmental specification. The label we use is called E+, C-. The E stands for energy, the C stands for carbon, which is measuring the carbon that we emit all along the cycle of life of the buildings, from the construction to the exploitation. And so this label permits us to constrain the constructor to reach ambitious environmental objective. And what we have, another thing in a public procurement, which is called the tenders rules, which describe the condition under which the candidate proposal will be assessed. So we give priority to technical criteria over price when we are choosing our contractor. For example, for our college, we use only 20% of the assessment for the price, and the rest, 80%, is focusing on local economy, environmental and architectural impact. So it demands for a certain in this assessment, we are asking for a certain amount of wood. The more wood the contractor puts, the more the best mark he will have, and the more chance he will have to work with us to building a college. The only problems we had in this rating solution is that the European regulation prohibits us to mention brands or localities for any material. For example, the wood. We cannot say that the wood has to be from Gironde, which would be a good opportunity to develop the local economy and the use of wood, because there is the sense of using wood because it's local, and we can stock carbons. But to quote the European regulation, technical specification must be objective and neutral and may not have the effect of distorting competition by creating discrimination between economic operators. If we try to synthesize this, you can't say I want the pine from Gironde because some economic contractors are not able to procure this. If, for example, we are working with Spanish constructor, he may have better opportunities to have the same technical wood, but coming from Spain, which is what the European ask in the public procurement. And then the last way we have to influence the candidates is during our procedure. We have a step when we can chat with different candidates, and here there is no contract. You can chat with us and with them, and we can try to convince them that using the local wood is a good thing. So usually it works. The project that we have in the end is using a lot of local wood, but this European regulation about the localities of the materials, sometimes it's an obstacle for us. I will leave my colleagues to talk about the good example of the Collège Pierre-Médoc. Ça marche pas trop.
The call for tender for the College of Pierre-Médoc include this specific requirement in the procurement to use a high amount of wood in the building structure. Therefore, this project was chosen a showcase for the Basajaun demonstrator. But likewise, in most of the other new colleges, the Gironde department is trying to incorporate as much wood as possible. Many of these schools include wood materials in interior and exterior structures, such as floor, ceiling, roof joists, facades, windows frames, doors, stairs, interior and furniture, etc. The goal for the next years is to increase ever more wood in the construction sector and to create buildings that are even more virtuous. The college is located in the town of Pierre-Médoc, located 23 km west of Bordeaux. The department has a plot of 3 hectares, of which 2 hectares are classified as a wooded area rich in biodiversity. The site has a privileged location at the back of the Pierre-Médoc golf course. The plot, planted with beautiful pines and oaks, was the subject of the study by FCBA in order to reuse the pins in the construction of the college. The building owner in the Conseil départemental de la Gironde. The architect is BPM architect Delphine Peroveni et Eric Wirtz. And the building company is Bouygues Bâtiment Centre-Ouest. The construction floor area of the project is 9,600 square meters. The Basajaun housing will be built on the north part. The new college at the Pian-Médoc is the main showcase for wood construction in the Gironde Plan Collège. The Department of Gironde included a specific requirement dedicated for wood material. The wool material had to be promoted visually on the spot. This specificity ensures that the buildings will fit well into its natural surrounding forest environment, as the college is located in the rural area, in the middle of the lands, pine and ash forests. The college was opened in September and welcomes 800 school children from 2 communes in the sector. To reach the demand high level of wood, the construction site needed to use at least 80 liters or cubic decimeter of wood per square meter. In this school, the figure has reached 19 liters or cubic decimeter per square meter. A second aspect of this construction is that a part of the wood materials used for building comes actually from the construction site itself. Further wood materials have also been used in the school building itself, mainly for insulation, frames and cladding. On the environmental level, it has adopted ambitious criteria with the search for the experimental E+C label to use of biosourced materials, the search for energy efficiency in buildings and compensation measures for biodiversity. Environmental program. The one is respect the site, keep the wood of the plot and use the one that has been cut, to have a project that integrates with the landscapes and in which one feels good, reducing the impermeability of the soil by using permeable materials for parking, infiltrations of rainwater on the plot, develop ecological spaces. Number 2, low consumption, energy efficient, energy production by approximately 200 square meters of photovoltaic panels. Low water consumption, commitment to the kitchen process, 5.4 liters per each meal. Number 3, comfortable, promote working conditions, air quality, winter comfort, production of heating and domestic hot water from a biomass boiler room, which reinforced insulation, summer comfort, north-south oriented buildings with large productive roofs, wood type and location, vertical cladding, maritime pine, wood origin, land, and plot of the college. On of the major levels, to promote the use of local wood was the reuse of the wood of the plot. Indeed, the stock were not sufficient to carry out all the facades. For question harmony, the architect didn't have a choice to use the same wood type. Finally, the college incorporates innovative organizational operating principles, the volumetric organizations of the playground, gender neutral, neutral toilet, a new organization of the canteen and the outdoor terrace, an outdoor classroom to take advantage of the site's biodiversity. The new college was very well accepted by the children and by the school director. Thank you.
So now we have time for doing two things. The first is questions about whatever aspect do you want of the workshop until now, and after that we will do a short break. So we will modify it a little bit the program, because initially it was scheduled that we will continue at 4, so maybe it's better that we stop just for 10 minutes or 10-15 minutes. So any questions, please, questions. Now is your time, the audience. Preguntas desde la audiencia, castellano, inglés, euskera, francés, no problem. So please stand up and tell your name and affiliation, please.
Pierre Blanchette, Laval University, Canada. I have a question for the people from Gironde. You told that in the public tender, only 20% relate to the price and 80% to the quality. I'd like to know if it's the case for all the public building or it is just for that project.
Yes. So the project of Pure Medoc is exactly this amount of price and technical criteria. Most of the public procurement that we do with the operate, build, and exploitation, this kind of procedure, we are always using the 20% amount. But the thing that I haven't told before is that we still have a maximum budget which is indicated in the contract. So we are not like free money. They can do whatever they want, but we have just the maximum that we can put in this building. And then yes, the price is 20%. When we use MOP law, the one when we choose the architect and then the company is a bit different. The criteria can change. But most of new construction, I would say 8 of 10, are done with the global public procurement, which is 20% for the price.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, any more questions? Don't be shy.
Yes. Hi, Vanessa Baño from InnovaWood. You have mentioned that the wood volume involved in this building was 8 cubic meters per square meter.
It's 90.
90. Wow, 90.
No, not cubic. This decacubic. That's mean 90 liters.
Okay, in cubic meters.
It's like less than one.
Yeah. Okay, but only for the timber structure or for the
in the whole. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's include a college. Usually there are a canteen, the place where to prepare and to eat. There are a big gymnasium, actually 2 gymnasium, a lot of classroom, which is almost 25 to 30 classroom, and another bâtiment which is only for administration office. So considering all of these bâtiments, the mean is about 90 liters per
Okay.
square meters.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, gracias, Vanessa. So, any more questions from the audience? I have one for you also, and the question is if you are aware. So, I think that it is it's a perfect initiative from the public side, that's for sure. And I was wondering if you know if other regions of France have equivalent or similar initiatives.
That's a good question.
If you are aware of that, because maybe you can be an example, not only for the rest of Europe, but also inside France. I mean,
In France, in particular, I know for sure that there is some other public authorities who are doing the same. It depends on the money they can put, because what we recently that we are aware recently is that simple middle school, the difference of price between a simple middle school in concrete is 30% cheaper than one with about 90% of 90 liters of wood per square meter. But your question was for other departments. The thing which is sure now is that from the beginning of this year, with the new regulation, they are not implementing wood each time, but biosourced materials are mandatory to respect this regulation. You can't build a full concrete even with, I think, even with low carbon concrete. It's not possible to respect the regulation without biosourced materials. So
this is the case for the whole France.
Yes, this regulation it starts for public building. It starts from January this year.
Okay.
So new building from now on will include even for I don't know exactly the regulation for private building, but even them are concerned.
Okay, more questions even for the audience? Pierre, you want also?
Question for all the group.
Wait a second.
A question for all the group. Among the concepts that were presented, some are known, some are rising. So I'd like to know from your point of view of the group, what is the main innovation in that project?
Yeah, that's my turn. Yeah, yeah. The main innovation. It's difficult to say because, in fact, we have 11.
This is why I asked.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So the issue is that you can ask me this because there are at least 11 innovations, 11 innovations, and we cannot choose between the different zones. I mean, on daughters, we love all of them at the same time. So this is for sure. We will not choose between one and another. But what I will really like, I mean, the big success of finally, I mean, the big challenge of this project is to move from the lab scale until to real buildings. This is the main challenge for all the innovations. So we are, let's say, it's a rather challenging project in the sense that we have developed something at the lab scale, but that's not enough. And one of the lessons learned that we are learning, all of us, is this for sure the manufacturing companies knows it, but it is really difficult to introduce innovations in real buildings because you have, as has been said, different regulations that must come complete, and of course because there are issues related to the let's say the procurement, how you can do it, about fire safety, and all the requirements are exactly the same. I mean, depending if you're innovative or not. So I will say that the big challenge is to upscale the whole thing and to create real buildings with that.
Okay. Let me also add a little bit from this European perspective. So this is really the practical challenge that we face in the project and that we have to struggle through with all the partners. But the call where we are responding with this project is actually called Sustainable Wood Supply Chains from Europe. And they put in all these requirements. It has to be sustainable, it has to be regional, like connecting to the rural development areas. It should bring the forest to the urban areas, and it should be innovative. Yeah, so they ask for exactly for this combination. And so I think our project can demonstrate that very well as well, how challenging this is. And this is really important to make this understandable in Brussels. Yeah, they ask for more bio-based solutions. They ask for more wood, or for nature-based solutions. But the reality on the ground is you have a lot of regulations where you have to comply with. And so this is a case how challenging this is. And we managed to do it, let's say, with a big consortium, a European consortium. It's not only one or two companies in one region, but across Europe. So yeah, the bar was very high, but we are almost there, I would say, with it.
Thank you. The other day, Avia, you told me that the most interesting innovation was coming from Tecnalia, and,
Okay.
and today Jean-Luc told me that it was coming from FCBA. So
Yes, we will discuss later about this. Yeah, okay. No, you have to wait. They have to. No. Use yours, Jean-Luc.
So actually, we have to talk about the innovation. A lot of those innovations are coming already through previous projects. So those innovations have been developed, and now we are bringing it one step ahead, putting it on site and using it as I would say normal material or a usual material, you know. So, but getting from innovation to usual material, going mainstream is so complicated, especially for construction. It is a question of, we have to be sure that what we're constructing is going to last for 50 years, of course. We have to be sure that it's not going to collapse on the people. We have to be sure that it's not going to give more fire if ever there is a fire, and so on. So we have to map all the performance, and this was a big challenge, of course, but a big work package in the project, where we were going from the lab scale to the capacity of getting on the site and being used with people living inside. So, so this sometime we can call it time to innovation on site, yeah. and we have chance or misfortune, I don't know, or a big challenge, because somehow we decided to make the biggest demo in France, and I'm sorry, but France is the more complicated country maybe in Europe for that work, and sometimes people like insurance company has to decide about technical things, and when you're an insurance company, you are not technical, of course. So our colleagues are working very hard, and still it's not finished, because to get on site, everybody has to agree that the material are not causing any problem, and they are going to be more or less like traditional. Yeah, wood is traditional, but innovation in many sense, when you are having new material, like the product we're using, you put through the material with basalt and fibrous wooden fibers, and so this is completely new. Huh? So the person that is going to agree, and this is the control office, the control desk. Yes, those people, bureau de contrôle in French. Yeah, those people have to decide if they agree or not. If they don't agree, they just tell you use something else, and that's it. So, yeah. So, well, this process is incredibly time-consuming and challenging, and also frightening. But it's not the only innovation we have. We have also innovation on another scale, like we are innovating also in the way of understanding a project and conveying the information of a project. We went one step ahead concerning data propagation in a project. We're not talking nearly anymore about BIM, but more in traceability plus BIM, because BIM alone is. And now we are maybe going to for the next step. We will work on data propagation and traceability plus BIM plus, I don't know, maybe certification or more, more challenging things for the future. So we are not only on the technical side for innovation. That's why we don't know exactly how much. So today with Uwe, we are going to present only 7 innovation, but maybe we can add more at the end of the project for things that we are not thinking. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Jean-Luc. Thank you so much, Jean-Luc. Merci beaucoup. So I think that makes an end for the questions, and maybe we can, as initially planned, we can have a short break until 4, if you agree. So it is 12 minutes, and we will see back at 12. In 12 minutes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. So thank you so much, and hope that you stay here in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Buenas tardes otra vez a todos, con algo de retraso, pero empezamos. Ahora vamos a continuar este workshop, este taller, exactamente donde lo habíamos dejado con anterioridad. Recordad, estamos dentro de un macro proyecto europeo con 29 socios en construcción en madera. Y uno de los hitos que hemos conseguido ha sido, que en realidad que estamos trabajando en él, es crear una plataforma para la innovación abierta. Es decir, cómo no solo nos vamos a conformar con, digamos, explotar nuestros resultados o demostrar que las innovaciones las podemos llevar a escala real, sino cómo debemos promover que esas innovaciones, de una manera abierta e interaccionando con diversos socios, las podemos comercializar y las podemos explotar, cómo podemos sacar beneficios de ello y cómo podemos, digamos, actuar como una palanca de la introducción de la innovación en el sector de la construcción en madera. Para eso lo que hemos creado es una plataforma que le hemos llamado así, Open Innovation Platform for Good Construction. Así es como vamos a ir trabajando. Entonces, ahora nos van a presentar cuáles son las claves de esta Open Innovation. So, now we will discuss a little bit about which is the Open Innovation platform. So now the stage is yours.
On reste là d'un côté de l'autre, hein, Oh, il y a un Lucas? Si. Ah, je l'ai pas mis alors. Oui, le logo. Je retire ce gramme. Hein? Yes. So we want to share. Peut-être tu prends un microphone supplémentaire, toi tu prends celui-là et moi je prends le supplémentaire, qu'est-ce que tu penses? Bon, fine. Pour les deux, ouais.
So, yeah, let's start. We want to give you a quick introduction to what we are preparing for this open innovation platform. Where does this continue? Here? No, here.
Maybe flèche vers le bas?
Now it works.
Okay.
So, the idea is to create a platform between the partners of the project, but also open it up to external partners, actors and stakeholders in the region to foster a dialogue and co-creation. Well, in the regions, but also have this exchange between the European regions that we presented already. And we will showcase this kind of demo projects that we have, showcase the innovations, so the individual products and developments that are prepared by the partners. And the idea is to, let's say, think ahead, how can they be exploited further in follow-up projects, in further collaborations, in more innovation projects together with the companies. Yeah, this is, let's say, the basic overall idea. And I would hand over to you.
Yes,
yeah?
so we our approach is to try to encourage the innovation transfer to industry in the 5 regions that we are working on. So let's start from the south to the north. We have the Basque Country, where we got a big work already in a previous previous task in that work package, where we identified all the socio-economic context of those 5 regions. So Basque Country, New Aquitaine, West Pomerania, that is in Poland, North Karelia, and North Ostroponia in Finland.
Yeah.
Boom. First work was to make the a comprehensive assessment of the pilot regions, and this we finished in 2022. And we published this work on the LUK, that is our partner in Finland, a bioeconomy series platform, or not platform, or communication publication. Voilà. So, and now we're following up with the task 2, the second task that actually ended in September 2022, and there we started drawing our open innovation platform, and this is why we revised a little bit our approach, and now we're talking about building the foundation and not building the open innovation platform. Because an open innovation platform would be very big to handle in the time we have and the focus that we are having. So we are building the foundation, and now we are seeing what we have to interact with to get that open innovation platform active and living, standing alone after Basajaun project. This is our aim in that work, and today we know what would be necessary. It's not only a website, it is also a lot of work to convince the people and to help them and to create really a cooperation, a big cooperation where the people that knows in their area, in their region, in their country can help another region in another country and make it possible that innovation using wood will come to be mainstream, used in construction. Because, like I was saying earlier, it can be very complicated.
Yeah, and 2 more steps are task 7.3 and 7.4. So one aim is actually to use the platform and to partner with other initiatives in Europe, which are also active on wood construction or also on the decarbonization of the the construction sector. And the aim is, of course, also to see how can we screen together, you know, as a larger group, these kind of funding opportunities and possibilities to consolidate the platform in the longer run. Yeah, shall we go now through these steps more?
Yeah, I think we can maybe go directly to the 7 innovation that we highlighted for the day. So as I was talking about, that we started with let's make all the information we have easy to access, and give all results that have been developed during Basajaun. To make those innovation accessible to the people, or the information we can get, or the step we got through Basajaun project can be accessible to everybody. This can be a website, but we're also talking about link through other networks, even face-to-face discussion. We are talking about videos, we are talking about presentation and recording, like today, for instance. And the idea is to give a chance for the innovation to be used wherever we are in Europe. So we are preparing a set of tools for that, and depends on the innovation. We are going to make it feasible. Yeah. So let's see what innovation we have. We have products that are in the area of insulation material. So let's say area of material. We have product in the area of building system. We have innovation also that are more on the 3-dimensional side, and innovation also on the forest to building data. How we call that? Forest to building data framework.
Yeah.
Voilà, F2PDF.
Yes.
Okay, so if we concentrate a little bit, we have an insulation material, we have a finishing, some coating that we can put on material for enhancing their capacity for fire, but also for durability. We have also the a composition of building material like panels and insulation. This is, for instance, the SIP panel that we are going to use for the construction in Bordeaux in the roof, and also in the walls. For each, the material is innovating, of course, but for each application, the innovation is different. For instance, for acoustics, it's going to be more complicated to use a SIP panel. So the development was how to use a SIP panel for acoustic performance. So this we developed because the same building material or the same procedure or preparation or process of fabrication of this material, that is 2 panels plus an insulation, this one is used in different part of the construction, sometimes with wood, sometimes with plasterboards, and sometimes visible, sometimes not visible, and all of this need, of course, developments for all specification of construction, like fire, acoustics, air tightness, thermal, and so on and so forth. So this was done in the previous work packages, and this we are going to make it, of course, in a confidential way, or this we will talk later, so that the people that are developing those products are not copy-paste by somebody else. So the question is now, how are we going to the market together? So Basajaun is offering you all that knowledge. We can co-develop and go together on your market in your country with the experience we have in Aquitaine, in Spain, Basque Country, in Poland, and so on. Right.
Yeah, and the idea is really that this kind of wood products and engineered wood products, maybe a new generation, innovative wood products, also can be, communicated and disseminated more. Not only in our own research community. We know that wood is interesting and the right solution, but we have to talk to architects. We have to convince construction companies. We have to show this, to all these actors who are making decisions about the built environment. So that is, let's say, also a big function of the platform, to show that there is innovation happening in our sector already, that the solutions are tested and there, and you have a demo building there, you have another application there, it works under different climate conditions, and so on. So in a way, it's to getting together a critical mass of actors who are active in innovation in wood, and to be more visible and more easy also to approach.
And we have also another fact is that we know that innovation is our only solution for changing our way of constructing and making wood or construction a carbon sink. We know that only innovation can do that. With the existing solution is not enough. So and everybody knows about that. So they are very interested. Well, I would say in France, it's not the case in every country. In France, everybody is looking very specifically to wood and wood solution, because actually they know that there is a possible solution for that zero emitting material or even carbon sink.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Okay, so maybe we stop here because it's just us preaching to us. Let's involve also our partners here. I would like to ask, Javier and also Maxime, what is your experience now after this Basajaun project? It was a big challenge. We have addressed it and have shown it to you. But what is your take, let's say, Maxime, from representing Gironde as a region? Is this interesting to work closely together with researchers, thinking about new ideas of collaboration, bringing in more solutions that are maybe innovative, challenging, but which go in the right direction, so to say?
I think that's not really often that a public authority is participating to European projects, so we are really thankful, and that's a great opportunity for us. And I think we are most of the time we are focusing on our work, operational work, and construction. Even if we try to do environmental building, etc., it's hard to sit back and take to be aware of there is more than just the construction that we are doing, and I think this project is helping us a lot to be aware and to develop in other way, just not just by constructing a building, which I would say develop local engineering, industry. We are participating in another way, and that's a great thing, and we are learning a lot about innovation that we can help to implement. I think this is also the role, the goal of a public authority to push the innovation, and to by doing this pilot building, as I think the department is doing what a public authority should do, and so I think that's a good experience for us, and if we could continue this way for another time.
Pleasure. Yeah, so Javier, maybe an opinion from the Basque country. I mean, you are representing coordinator and Tecnalia, a very established research. But how would you see the next step after Basajaun, thinking of this innovation, and how can we upscale this a little bit more?
Well, that's a huge question. I mean, initially you mentioned that this is one of the as Tecnalia, or maybe as a researcher, which is the best lesson learned. Yeah, with the projects, and it is for me it's quite clear, is that we are under the skin of our customers in this case. That's clear, no way. I mean, we are used to as soon as we have some call with public funding, we always remember. We try to contact companies and so on. And sometimes we do not fully understand why some companies are so, let's say, do not like a lot to do innovations. And now we know exactly which is the reason, that it's some strict regulations, so that we have to work more on this part. That's clear, and it's really important for our business to understand how our customers, because there is one single reason why the technological research centers exist. Only one, and it's to transfer knowledge to the industry. This is the single one, the most important. If we do not do that, there's no reason for us to exist as institutions. And this is why we really are very focused on that. How to continue? For sure, I would like that this will be the first step in a series of projects where we do not only focus in materials or product research. This is the core of our activity, and we must maintain that. That's for sure. But it's a mistake to do this alone, without considering all the environment that exists, without considering the public procurement and how it works, without trying to interact with different institutes, different authorities, and so the future for us is to continue, in this case, as Tecnalia, to continue developing products and materials as we are doing, but in a better connected way, not only with industries but also with all the surroundings, all the surrounding activities that we have. That's clear.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah.
So we have also a question for Véronique, that is also an architect, as being the. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the architectural offer around wood. Maybe it's not going to be easy in English, or not easy.
French, if you want.
Maybe you say it in French. We'll try to translate.
Oui,
we can do. Alors la question c'est quel a été le lien développé dans le projet entre architecture et offre potentielle du bois?
c'est plutôt le travail de l'architecture qui est
Moi,
et surtout dans le biais aussi de l'innovation aussi. Voilà. Comment ont vécu l'innovation les architectes du projet?
alors, moi, de formation, je suis architecte, donc ça, je pense que mon métier a contribué à diriger le cahier des charges dans le sens de la construction bois pour les architectes.
So the work as an architect, when she started working on this subject, as a comment on dit maîtrise d'ouvrage, owner body, she started making the cahier des charges specification documents for the use of wood.
Et puis le site aussi a été inspirant et pour moi c'était logique de demander à ce que le bois de la parcelle, qui était une pinède, soit réutilisé dans la construction du futur équipement.
Also, the site was very inspiring because it was a forest already, and it was important for Véronique that the wood that is getting out from this forest, for creating building, they had to cut some logs, and those logging went back to the construction of the college, so the high school.
Yes.
C'est high school. C'est high school.
C'est bon?
Other.
Okay. I have another question also for the college. So, how do the users, the children, and the staff of the school appreciate these new schools? Of course, the new one of Basajaun will be very interesting for us, but also in general, because I hear a lot in discussions with architects that it's not so much, you know, the material itself or the sustainability story that we claim because it's carbon, but it's because it's a very healthy and interesting environment. It's very inspiring for people to work inside, and also if you ask children, they like the smell of wood. That would be probably the main story to tell. Oh, you're in a school and it smells good and you just feel better, you know?
That's exactly what the kids say that the day we inaugurate the building, our president of the department was here and he let the kids speak and he say, I love the wood construction and the way it smells, the way we feel in the wood there. Every morning when I came, I can smell the wood, and the kids was really enjoying this part of the Batman. But I will go further. I would say that even other than the kids that will not see the environmental subject of the building, the people, teachers, or even the administration staff is aware of the environmental ambitious project, and they try to share it with the children.
Yeah.
And so they can explain different things about the sobriety, for example, because the insulation of the building is good. So they can explain that we don't need what most people, when you are cold, when you are too hot, you open the window, for example, that's the first thing you think it's good to do. But in all the education is this way. If you are living in a good building, you don't have to open the window, you just have to close the store.
Shade. Yeah,
shade.
the shades, yeah.
All this thing is from the teacher to the student is also I think is part of the education. So this is more than a building. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, but I think this is exactly what we need to include in innovation as well. Yeah, it's not only about technology and new systems. It's how the users appreciate it and how they understand it and how they interact with it. Only then we can make a long-term impact, and it's very nice.
The fact that the pilot building is just near an education building is is good because the children will maybe visit it and understand how innovation is important for the environment in this case.
Okay.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Any more questions from the audience? We would like to open the floor. So, as we just presented, we are developing this concept of this open innovation platform, and we are actually launching it also for new proposals and new ideas. On the slide, you see this European Wood for Bauhaus Alliance, which is actually passing this message, on the European level and in the community towards the Commission. We also are part of the Wood Rise Alliance, where we share this information and ideas on an international level. But any questions? Yeah. So, impulses? Pierre, you always have a question. No, not this time.
Yeah, but we have the chance to have our colleague from the Basque Country, Garnica, that maybe can give a bit of their opinion about how to work on a research project and what is their experience about research and how they are living with that subject since 2 years, huh? 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah, and will you do it again with us?
Yeah, please come. No. Another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are delighted. No, actually, we were talking about this before. You are putting a lot of effort communicating. It's something very important. We have suffered in the past that we have put a lot of efforts and resources developing something and not enough resources, showing to the world what we have developed. And if you do not communicate what you have created, it's like that you have not created nothing at all. So absolutely, thank you for that. Yes, and it is a very important and interesting and huge project. For us, the big challenge, as you know, because we have talked about this, it is still to create a panel in which all the materials involved are bio-based. We have been working a lot in the past with XPS as isolation, and this is something that we have to change. But still some challenges remain, especially those that are related with mechanical properties, stiffness, compressive strength, etc., etc. But I'm sure that we will succeed. Maybe we need a little bit longer, but working together, I'm sure that we will succeed. So yes, absolutely, we will work with you again.
Thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
So, Javier, do you have any last words, ideas about the innovation platform and also about Basajaun, how we will continue, in the next year? Yes, let's go to the wrap-up.
Okay.
The different slide here.
Yes, you don't have the specific as far as you know. No.
Just take one.
Ya, the first, el primero. Ya, pongo yo. El primero, para hacerlo.
Creo que es. Este es.
No, la portada.
Vale,
La portada.
Este.
Es para el cierre y tal. Este. No, la primera, esta, ¿eh?
Ah, la primera.
Esta es esa.
Vale, perdona.
Okay. Bueno, pues todas las cosas tienen su final y esta es este es el momento en el que vamos a dar por finalizado el taller, el workshop. Solo decir, digamos, gracias por estar aquí, por acompañarnos. Somos conscientes de que la hora que hemos puesto pues era un poquito así. Una cosa que siempre me pasa es que les tengo que explicar a nuestros amigos europeos por qué las 2:30 es una hora un poco así para celebrar cosas en España, mientras que en Europa es una hora perfecta porque comen a las 12. Pero bueno, es una cosa que nos sirve también para empatizar. El proyecto es lo que habéis visto, hay muchísimo más trabajo detrás de ello. Hemos hablado de 7 innovaciones, cada una de ellas ha llevado meses y meses de trabajo. Hemos estado hablando de materiales aislantes, hemos estado hablando de paneles estructurales, hemos estado hablando de coatings, hemos estado hablando de composites de plástico madera. Todo eso se ha desarrollado, se ha ultimado, se ha escalado dentro del proyecto y lo hemos llevado y lo estamos llevando ahora que estamos en la fase final del proyecto, que es la fase en la que nuestros fabricantes están fabricando los productos y los vamos a construir. De hecho, un par de llamadas que he tenido durante la jornada tiene que ver exactamente con esto, ¿no? Digamos que estamos en el momento de fabricación de los materiales y esperamos que ya para finales de año, principios del año, ya empezaremos a construir el edificio. What I was saying in Spanish is that we are now in a very exciting moment of the project. The project is that we are entering the phase of manufacturing of all the innovative materials that we have created, of design, of where we manufacture the structures, the different panels, because the design phases are something of the past in these projects. And now our idea is to start as soon as possible. We expect that by December, end of January, to build and to manufacture all the materials, all the systems that we need. So next year we will start. We will have, let's say, brand and innovative building, basically Le Pian Médoc. That it's part of the thing that we have been commented before. So, and that's all for my side. I mean, thank you to all of you for coming here, for attending, and for sharing with us a project that we do for work, of course, because it's something of our work, but I will say that we do something also for our heart, in the sense that most of the partners will love to work like this and love to collaborate between that. And that's all for my side. I don't know if I will give the opportunity also to my colleagues to give some final words after the final words. The final of the final. No, it's that man who chooses. Oscar, please. The mic, not mic, please. We close that way? No, you have the opportunity if you want.
Okay, a quick round of final words, yeah.
Okay.
So I think this is really interesting to collaborate with you and think really in the project already about further things. And let's say not only completing the project as it is written 5 years ago when we, drafted it, happened now. There are a lot of new partnerships that are evolving out of it, new ideas, and this is also exactly how the European Commission wants to do it. Yeah, they want us to use it as an investment and to start creating really a community around that can work on with that. Yeah.
Nothing special to say, but we are really grateful to be here and to participate to this project, and most of all to have the pilot building in next to our college.
For our side, I would say that we are now very happy to open to the public. We are very happy now to open to the international and see how our innovation are going to find market. Yeah, and this is not a small thing. Voilà.
Okay, so that's all. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming. That's all.